Welcome to Chapter Sass, the podcast where we deep dive into the books that make you blush, gasp, and maybe even think a little. I'm your host, Season, and with every book, I'll be joined with a new co-host with their own hot take. From spicy romances to messy love triangles and all the glorious chaos in between, we're here with a fresh perspective to unpack the stories we love, question what we think we know, and explore how the book speaks to us. Things might even get a little sassy. This episode is rated mature and will contain spoilers. Let's get into the first chapter. Welcome back, everyone. Book 6 of Avatar comes out October 27th, and we're going to cover the whole series before then. Today, we're going to start part 2, and we're going to go through chapters 14 through 28 of A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. We'll do a high-level overview of the designated chapters of each episode. During these episodes, we will talk about things that we liked, didn't like, character development, and my favorites, theories and evidence to support our theories. And guys, I have so much evidence to support my theory on Elaine today. Can't wait to get into it. And of course, after every episode, we will have our sassy topic. This episode will contain spoilers and will have mature content. I'm going to say that one more time. Will contain spoilers and contain mature content. Let's meet everyone. I'm going to go on how I see you guys. Andrea, hello. How are you?
I'm doing good. Happy Monday.
How was your weekend?
It was fine. Look, it rained a little bit, and so the humidity was like, I see you, Andrea. Let's prove it up. So the amount of edge
I don't
control.
know if you could see. Same. It rained this morning in Chicago. I don't know when it rained for you, but it rained this morning.
Same. Yeah. And so I was like, nope, we got to get this under control now.
Yeah, I had a very busy weekend. Glad for this week. But go ahead, Jody. You have shorter hair. When did you cut it?
Yeah, we have the same haircut now. Yes, and I even have my little antennas out like you.
Oh, yay! That's how you know. If it was slicked back straight, that's how you know we're Puerto Rican.
Wait, antennas took me out.
Hey, Jake. How you doing?
Hey, I'm great. Been better now.
Yes.
I'm drinking on a Monday.
Oh, and we're coming to you live from between the sheets because I sold my couch and I don't have a couch now.
What?
Because the new one's not gonna deliver until
we were like, wait. We were like, hey, let's go buy a couch tomorrow, but also like we're gonna have an old couch and we can't have two couches, so let's put it on Marketplace. Great news, it sold in half an hour. They'll be here tomorrow morning. Also, we don't have a couch yet. Let's go buy a couch. So we go to buy a couch and they're like, oh, that's great. It'll be there in 3 weeks.
Oh, I won't be visiting you for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I don't want to be here.
I will not visit you.
To be fair, the website said it'd be here on 5/29, and then when we went to the store, they were like, "Yeah, it's more like 6/17," and I was like, 6/17? This is terrible.
I love it. I love it.
Anyways, how was your weekend?
It was good. It was busy because Linda got married to the court on Wednesday, so my little sister's married. She's officially a miss. Thursday, I had my gala for the nonprofit that I'm a board on, so it's called WITS. So we pretty much just want to help literacy in the CPS schools. We give them books, we mentor. It's like this whole thing. Yeah, gala was amazing. By then, I was not, guys. I'm an extrovert, so I'm like,
Really?
let's go, let's hang out. I was done. But then Friday I had a murder mystery at my club.
Are
my
you
club.
sure you're an extrovert?
Have you been tested?
Listen, you learn something new every day.
This is wild.
So,
I'm glad
let me
you put
tell
the
you,
internet.
Saturday, I was so happy to stay home and do fucking nothing. Like, I was home alone. I was home alone. I threw on the fire pit. I just sat outside and read. Like, I was like, no one come bother me. Like,
Yes.
I have never experienced my social battery being so low, but it is so low right now.
Yeah, like when
yeah.
we read to be alone, but like you read to other people. Like you're out here reading this book to other people. That's how extroverted you are.
So yeah, but I'm refreshed now. Keith and I took a gummy yesterday, and let me tell you, I had the best sleep last night.
Hell yeah.
Everyone needs a season. Everyone needs an extrovert to pull them out of their funk sometimes. So.
Best sleep of my life yesterday. I didn't even want to wake up this morning.
We're good.
And then for my drink, guys, I had a rhubarb spritz. So if you've been listening for a while, you all know I have rhubarb that just grows naturally in my yard. It almost killed Jotty 5 summers ago when she decided to eat the part that she wasn't supposed to eat. But rhubarb spritz tastes amazing. What are you guys drinking?
Oh,
Mezcal and orange juice, my old, just the best. It's delicious.
Oh, is that a
Oh,
White Claw, Andrea?
listen, it's zero. I don't
Oh,
drink anymore, and so it's
that's fair.
zero alcohol.
I
And so,
love that.
but
I
I
didn't
was
know
like,
it was
let me
resistant.
be a part of the party, and so this was
Yeah.
specifically purchased for this.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
okay.
I will confirm it's not open yet, and I also have a Gatorade.
Love it. Jotty, what are you drinking?
cranked up.
I just have some wine and some water.
Same, I have some water too. Also,
I
for
can't
anyone
find my water, and it's pissing me off.
girl, go get a cup then. I mean, this is
Yeah.
my grown-up sippy cup, but yeah.
Like, I specifically, again, purchased this water. I can't.
Also, I love that you went and got zero. But also, you don't have to drink alcohol. I want that to be clear to anyone. Like, you could drink tea, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
And it's
you
just
do your
something
alcohol.
fun.
I
Yeah,
just needed a little summer spritz.
I love it.
Something,
Yes,
you
this is
know.
alcoholic, so I can't share with you. But yes,
Yeah. I had to get rid of that sugar. It was doing
well,
too
mine's
much.
is less sugars. That's why I said it's a little bit tart because I give my rhubarb to like other friends of mine, and they put way more sugar when they infuse the gin and the rhubarb. I don't. I put like maybe half a scoop, and then I was like, we can always add more sugar later, but we can't take sugar out. So a little tart, but I love it. Let's get in to the next chapter. Really quickly, summary.
Let's go.
Feyre is a newly made Fae who's adjusting to her new life. She currently has PTSD and with all the horrors that was done to her under the mountain. She also feels guilty for killing 2 innocent Fae and cannot get over their deaths in her mind, to the point that she can't even see the color red because it reminds her of blood, so she's no longer even painting, which is something that used to bring her peace. Tamlin does not help Feyre process this and instead tries to keep her on the ground / in the manor or his estate, the Spring Course estate. Feyre and Tamlin get engaged, and it is now their wedding. Feyre cannot go through with it and is screaming in her head for someone to come help. And our man, Rhys, comes and takes Feyre to the night court. During this week, Feyre starts to get a little bit better and learns how to use her mental shields and even starts to learn to read. Back at the Spring Court, Tamlin gets even more protective of Feyre, and Feyre tells Tamlin that she's drowning and needs for him to back off. He agrees and backs off a little bit for a few days, and then when it is time for Feyre to go back to the night court, she gets a little better again, but then when she comes back, Tamlin's protectiveness is much worse, and he locks Feyre in the manor / his house. Feyre cocoons herself into her magic. Mor comes to get Feyre and takes her to Rhys, and Rhys then takes her back to the night court. But Rhys then needs to leave, and Feyre says she cannot be alone. And after promising to keep the location a secret, Rhys takes Feyre to Velaris. Dun, 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 dun. Next chapter. Part 2 is called House of Wind. So Rhys says, welcome to my home. And this is like his real home. He does say he has a few residents. Velaris is a city that's been hidden for 5,000 years. During his time under the mountain, Rhys did everything he could to make sure that this city stayed safe. And they never experienced the horrors of anything that was going on. So like while the Spring Court was still like trying to adjust to things in the Summer Court, Velaris they were hidden away, so they never saw any evil. They never were subjected to anything. Feyre is exhausted and goes to the room that Rhys like gives her to sleep it off. Nwala and Carowyn come and they're there to like help her get ready for bed. And she responds like, how did the city survive? And they respond back with, it's not their story to tell. So ding, 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 we got a story that we need to tell a little bit later on. The next day, Rhys shows Feyre where the House of Wind is, and that's like his second home. And this is where they'll have dinner so he can meet his inner circle. The only way to enter the House of Wind is to fly in or climb the 10,000 steps, which is great foreshadowing for Silver Flames that I did not catch at all. But guys, 10,000 steps, Silver Flame, when we get there, it is amazing. Feyre is gonna meet his inner circle so she can decide if she wants to help with Hybern. As they wait for everyone to arrive, Rhys and Feyre have like a little bit of a bonding moment. They tell each other how they feel just about life in general. Rhys tells her a little bit about his time under the mountain, and Feyre is like, she's a fool for not seeing more of the spring court, and she feels like she's just like a lonely, helpless person because of like how she allowed herself to be while she was with Tamlin. And then we meet everyone. So we got Cassian, who controls Rhys's armies. We got Azriel, who is his spy master and can speak to shadows. We have Armand, who is older than the city of Valaris itself, and it is Rhys's second. Everyone is scared of Armand, including like Azriel does like not like trust her. And then Moore, who we already met, is Rhys's third. And everyone gets into their like family like dynamic, and they like welcome Feyre in, but they're like at the table. Cassian is just being this beloved teddy bear who like will do anything to defend anyone to the end of that he loves to the end of the world. Azriel's quiet, but is like observing things, and that's just like his normal nature. But again, he will also do anything to like protect his inner circle. And Armand, I don't know how to describe her, but I would describe her as like she speaks her mind and will do whatever it takes to get people. Like she's really good at manipulating people, and we get that when she does it to Feyre, and to doing what needs to be done. And she does it a little bit, or she does it a lot more in Silver Flame with Nesta. So like that's just like Armand's like character, right?
In what I'm listening to, they're calling her Amarin.
Oh, Amryn. I feel like I would listen to the same one. I don't know if it's Amryn or Armand.
Mine is the graphic audio.
I'm also listening to the graphic audio, so maybe I'm confusing that. But okay, well, we'll take it. Armand.
No,
Nice.
Amarin.
Or Amryn. Fuck. Shit. Guys, people who are listening, I'm going to say names wrong
That
on
fuck.
the regular.
Andrea,
Also, why is there a fucking on, I feel like, then in her name? Like, this is what I hate about fantasy.
How is it spelled?
Like, A-R...
Amren.
Oh, okay, maybe it's my fault because I've been spelling it A-R.
I
So
think
that is why.
yeah.
So that's why I think it's so wrong.
But also, like, if we start referring to her as like Among,
Yeah, it was kind of like an upscale guy for a second. I'm like,
yeah.
oh.
Sometimes I just let it
Okay,
be.
so Amryn, I could say that. Amryn. Correct
Amryn.
me every time I say it wrong. That's the only way I'm
No.
gonna say it right. But
True.
honestly, I spelled it. No,
I-
I spelled it wrong in all my notes. I spelled it
They both
A-R.
said no.
Season, I love you to death, but I, as a white man, cannot correct you.
Period.
I cannot take that kind of crucifixion.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay,
Well, hold
I'll
on.
take it.
You cannot take it again because I've already.
Oh
like,
my
you already know what she's
gosh.
talking about.
Oh, I definitely spelled her name A-R. This whole note, so like
That's
Amryn,
okay.
Amryn.
We'll call her A. We'll just call her
Okay.
A.
Aaron.
Amra.
Hey, Rod, yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay,
Oh
so
man.
that's
Yeah,
all
did
I
you see
need.
my face? He looked at me and I'm like,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Amryn. Okay, I got it. Amryn. I hope everyone's listening is having a great time as much as we're having, because I will not be cutting that out.
okay, every time you say
Derek,
Armand, I'm gonna take a drink.
just
That'll be
muted
the
it.
gig.
Okay.
I just muted it, and Derek's like, "Don't mute me."
Don't mute me.
I agree. Don't mute him. I love it. Don't mute him. Okay.
She starts cutting me off early.
Yeah.
By the
Just 'cause
time
she
it
could
gets down to
tell.
about here, she starts cutting me off.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No, don't cut him off. We accept everyone for who they are, flaws and all, including me, because I'm not perfect. But yes.
Yeah. Well, I am. So.
Okay. So the family, because that's what they are, the family goes into like their little bickering self, like that is their dynamic, and it's great. But this is something that Feyre just has not really experienced. Like she didn't experience this with her family or at the Spring Court. Oh, also, really quickly, I never really read the because this Riverside like transcribes like everything we say, and I never really read it. And yesterday I was like reading it while I was editing. Every time I say Spring Court, it says Supreme Court.
Nice.
It
No.
spells Feyre's name differently every single time we say it.
To
And
be
Tamlin.
fair,
Pretty
to be
accurate.
fair,
It's pretty
it's
accurate.
actually accurate to what you're saying.
It
Because
also
we've been
spells
getting
Tamlin.
Feyre, Freya, Feyre, like
Ferris.
there's
We had a
Ferris.
Ferrero.
Yeah,
Susan, we love you.
it spells it differently all the time. Tamlin spelled differently all the time. The only time it was spelled correctly was when Derek called Tamlin tampon.
Hey,
Like,
you know who you're talking about,
We do.
so it's
We do.
fine.
well, all I want to say is if you're like reading the transcription, I did not do that. That is what the system is transcribing. I speak fast, and there's a lot of words that I'm not saying that it thinks I'm saying in the transcription. So guys, like, I'll get that fixed at some point, but it's not gonna be anytime soon. But yeah,
Totally.
okay,
Everything's fine.
yeah. So again, she never experienced this like type of family dynamic either at her house or the Spring Court. So we learned that Cassian and Azriel have siphons that channel power, and we'll learn more about that later. Rhys explains that he is half Illyrian, and Cassian and Azriel are not High Fae. Armand is other because they don't. Amryn, fuck. It's because it's her R. There's an R here. Fuck. Yes, Amryn is
Every
other.
time you say Armand, we need to take a drink.
Oh shit.
Oh yes, I love it. And you need to tell Susan to take a drink, so I remember too.
Take a drink. It's gonna get worse.
It might get worse. Guys, everyone who's listening, who knows where we'll end up? There's a lot of gin in here. So
Oh shit.
let's see where we end up.
It'll be a 3-hour
By the
episode.
time you're done, you'll say it correctly.
Alright.
Okay. Amryn is other because we don't know what the fuck she is. She never actually tells us what she is either. So Amryn. And Moore is the only.
The Andrea face.
She does tell us. Oh, it says it in Crescent City.
I have high speculation. Nothing is confirmed
Okay.
about Amryn and what's happening in this series, and that's all I will say about that. It's very high speculation theory.
I don't think that it's super high because I've actually heard someone else tell me that they've heard or they suspect as well. So whoever has read Crescent City, there's the character obviously that I don't know of.
Yeah,
that they suspect is
it's
Amryn.
specifically in this book too. There's the yeah. I can't wait for you guys to read Crescent City. It's going to be amazing.
I know now I have to read that.
We also learned that Moore is like the only pure-blooded titled Fae in the inner circle. And I cannot wait to read Moore's book. I hope it's after Elaine's book. So not the next book, but the book after that one.
I don't think either one of them are getting a book. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. I don't think.
I need Elaine to have a book so I know if I'm right or wrong about her. I really do need her to have a book.
I don't want either one.
I feel like we got a lot of her in the later books.
No, but we need her POV.
Totally, but I mean her like a lot of her background and stuff, but she did a lot of bonding with
Azriel
and Gwen.
Who's the one that did a lot of bonding with Ness? Oh, was Amryn.
Gwen and Amryn, Gwen and what's that other girl's name? Yeah, Elaine, she's literally
Nemo.
A filler character.
So maybe she is gonna get a book, but
I think each sister. I think at this point you can't give Feyre and Nesta a book and not give Elaine.
yes,
Like,
you can
to
kill
be
her
honest,
off. It's fine.
they're not killing her off.
It'll be a novella. It'll be this. That's
Yeah,
it.
like
I
Frost
hope.
and Starlight. That's
what I'm
fine.
saying.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
keep
hope
going.
that's what we get. I just want something. I just want something from her point of view. That's all.
For
But
sure.
A
still,
quart of boring corn stalks.
I don't think it's gonna be boring. I think because remember, she can like kind of tell the future now,
She's a
so I think she's
seer,
gonna know a
yeah.
whole bunch of shit.
Because
Like I
whenever
think she's
she
about to
scries,
become.
right? She's the one who
Mhm.
does the scrying, right? Yeah.
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
that's
I
gonna be
think she's
huge.
about to become a very important character. So there's no way we can't get a book.
She
I
better
do
get
think,
interesting, because right now,
yeah, I do think more will get a book because we know a little bit about her past, but I do think she will like find somebody. I don't know, but I do think she's gonna end up with the girl that Nessa's friends with. That is Lyrian. They clipped her wings. I forgot her name though.
I can't
Ooh.
remember her name either,
But
but
the
I know who you're
one that
talking about.
I have a feeling that she like can swing both ways. That character, and I think she will be with more.
I'm gonna figure out what her name is.
So we learned some things about the Lyrian culture and how the Bat Boys grew up in their upbringing. So Azrael and Cassian, bastards. They're bastards. Illyrian, like the Illyrian people, they live in camps deep in the mountains, like in the north. The Illyrian do not like high fae and are obsessed with lineage, hence them treating bastards very differently. They have their own high lords and like royalty, and they kind of make up their own rules. They do not believe like in their women, and so they clip their wings after they get their periods, which cripples them. And we'll get a little bit into that later, and we'll get into that more in Nesta's book because Nesta has a friend who is going to become a Valkyrie. Spoiler for anyone who's not, who hasn't read Silver Flames. And we get more on like I forgot her name, but she's great. She's badass, right? Anyways, Reese's mom was spared the fate of getting her wings clipped because Reese's dad realized right before she was going to get her wings clipped that that was his mate. And when he first saw her, he saved her. Even then, even though they were mates, though, they were not right for each other. So I wonder if this is a possible nod to Elaine and Lucian's love story. I hope I'm wrong because Lucian really deserves a W right now.
I think that she's gonna reject the mating bond and Lucian's gonna die. What's her face is sorry. Sorry. That was
Gingers,
very
you know what I'm
For
saying?
everyone listening, me and Johnny like have almost cried.
We just pulled an Andrea face, both
Sorry.
of them.
I really believe that's what's gonna happen. I think we like him and he has to die.
You think Lucian and Tamlin are gonna die?
Sure. We don't need either one of them. They're filler characters at this point.
I think you're correct, yeah.
Okay, well, I
Her
think
name
Lucian
is-
needs a W because
He does, but he's not gonna get one. What's
Oh.
her face's name is Emery, by the way. I found it.
Oh, Emery. I love
Great.
Emery. I think Moore and Emery are gonna get together.
Derek said that's what I said, but he actually said Danielle. And he said it with his full fucking chest, okay? He said it with such certainty. Her name is Danielle. Danielle is her name. Danielle, yes.
Emery, Danielle, Armand, Armin.
Listen,
Well,
this is why we're supposed to start recording at 6, so y'all don't have no time to
you did it.
pregame.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
that's true.
Okay, that's fair.
On track.
Okay, well, I hope Lucian gets a W because he's been through hell. And like his only friends, like his true friends right now, like at the end of Silver Flames are, I think he calls themselves the Misfits or whatever, but it's like Jurian and the other person. And like, I hope they don't kill Lucian. Honestly, they could kill Elaine before they kill Lucian. Like, I'm way more attached to Lucian than Elaine, quite frankly. But we'll see where that goes. Anyways, when Reese turned about 8, his mother took him back to like the Illyrian war camp to train. Now, what mother takes their 8-year-old to get tortured and beat and whatever? I have no idea, but she did. But this did make Reese stronger. Like he learned to like not be dependent on his power, like how to use other ways to survive. So like I guess it helped him ultimately. And she didn't just like abandon him. She stayed in the cabin nearby. And this cabin is our cabin that we get back to at chapter 55, everyone. We get to it before chapter 55, but chapter 55 is when it gets sexy time. You can't go pausing yourselves. I want to hear you, Johnny and
Oh,
Derek.
sorry. No, nope, we're good. And I was well, okay. So I said, isn't that the one that they fuck all over
Yes, that's chapter
his
55.
mother's cabin?
Yes,
How
that is correct.
sentient.
That is correct. The world knows this chapter. Or, like everyone knows Agatar chapter 55. That is where they do it all in paint, all up and down the cabin. Yep, we'll get there. Yep,
Fucking paint.
fucking paints. She's no longer scared of the color red. Everybody, no longer scared of that color red.
Exposure
So-
therapy.
So going to this like again fucked up camp essentially did make Reese stronger. He wasn't allowed to use his magic, so he had to rely on his other strengths. Cassian, because he was a bastard, didn't have like a food or a home, and so like he had to like make like a little tent shelter thing, and it was like a shitty little tent. And then one night, Reese saw Cassian like starving in his like shitty little tent, and he invited himself in. His mom pretty much adopted Cassian after that. And while they were enemies like outside the cabin and they were not BFFs yet, they like had like a mutual understanding while they were like inside the cabin. When Azriel arrived sometime later, Reese's mom also took in Azriel because she knew Azriel's mother. Then the war came and all of them were separated, which again, great foreshadowing for Silver Flame. Just like great, like I didn't even know it, and it's like, I'm reading almost Silver Flame right here. And then after 7 years of them being in the war, the Bat Boys became the Bat Boys, and they became BFFs. They knew that they would protect each other no matter what. The inner circle makes up like the court of dreams, while the people under the mountain make up the court of nightmare. So very like they're different groups of people. We learned that another temple was raided and that Hybrid does want to start another war, especially knowing that Feyre was made. So Reese knows all this, or he has like speculations of this. He just needs it to be confirmed. So everyone agrees that they need to visit the bone carver. And the only person that they know that the bone carver will speak with is Feyre because she was made. So then night comes around and they're at the townhouse and Feyre has bad nightmares and she starts to like puke. And she like goes and starts puking in her bath, in her toilet. And instead of Reese pretending he can't hear it and stays sleeping, he goes to Feyre's room, tries to help her breathe through it, pulls back her hair so that she can like puke like in the toilet, and it's just like, breathe, you're okay, you've made it out. And like we talked about flags last time, all the green flags that we needed Tamlin to do that he didn't do.
It ain't shit. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so during this whole ordeal, Feyre ends up using her like magic of flames, which we find out comes from the Autumn Court. And so now he knows that Feyre can't enter the minds of others because Feyre had entered his mind earlier. It's clear now to Reese that like she is getting the powers because now he's seen her use the power of the other High Lord. So like she has fire now. She's used his power. Reese and Feyre head to the prison to meet the bone carver, but Feyre cannot go in. Like she's too scared, which is understandable after everything that happened to her under the mountain. Like she's essentially going into a prison and she was like in a prison. So like her PTSD overtakes her. She can't do it. The next day, Armand, did I say it right? Fuck! We have to drink. We have
Amrin.
to drink. Fuck, okay, Amrin.
Because she said Armand.
Amrin. Okay. The next day, Amrin visits Feyre and gives her like a gold amulet with like a blue stone in it and tells Feyre this is what got her out of the prison, and if she wears it, she'll be okay. So Feyre and Reese head back to the prison. And we get some, and while they're like trucking their way to the, wait, what did he say?
He said like the sunglasses in Big Daddy. Do you remember that?
And Big Daddy, yes, but wait, what? Tell me more of that.
The amulet.
Oh, yes!
It's a
You're right.
placebo effect,
Yes.
right?
Oh my god, yes. I have to watch that movie. That movie was like 20 years ago. Oh, such a good movie.
Yeah, a long time ago. We're showing our age.
It's okay. Uh, So as they're like trucking into the prison, because you can't like fly in, whittle in, like you have to just like take your 2 feet and like, climb up into this prison. We learn more about Azriel's background, and so we know that he like grew up in like a dark cell with no windows, and he was only let out once a day for sunlight by his father, stepmother, and brothers. He only got to see his mom once a week. Also, Azriel's mom is dead currently, so like she was killed. We get more information a little bit, I think, in Silver Flames about that. He was not allowed to learn to fly or do anything, and like at 8 years old, his brothers burnt his hand so badly because they wanted to experiment to see like how quickly he would heal. And that's what we get from there. So brothers were assholes, stepmom was asshole, father is asshole. So Azriel did not have a great upbringing. And so then they go visit the bone carver. And so the book says, and I quote, oh, and I'm quoting this because I think these are like word marks. And so like I'm almost at the end of my current Throne of Glass book. I agree. I am listening. I can't remember none of their names, but I can describe each character like nothing. Like, oh my god, this is the character does this, like his power. I can describe every character like nothing. Tell me their names.
Describe their name.
Listen, I can sing you a whole song and tell you that I've never heard of the band.
Every time. Every time.
So don't worry about it.
Every time.
So the reason why I brought up Throne and Glass to begin with is because the book says, and I quote, the gates above that were like ivory of bone, on the surface were sketched countless images of flora, fauna, seas and clouds, stars and moon, infants and skeletons, creature fair and foul. So to me, those are kind of like word marks or like little things, and they're on all of the prisons. Like the bone carver has carved that on all the prison walls or cells.
I want to tell you how important the prison is. Like everything you can soak up about the prison, like from this initial instance, I myself believe there are plenty of Easter eggs here that I did not care about that matter.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm looking because when I saw this, I was like, "Ooh, are these like word marks?" Or
yeah, so like you're picking up on some good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when they walk into the cell, Feyre sees a boy around 8 years old. Reese doesn't say who he sees, but he gives the bone carver the bone that killed the worm that Feyre fought. They make a deal that pretty much for every question and answer that each one gives, the other one will give. So the bone carver asks, where did Feyre go when she died? And Feyre explained she was somewhere dark, and then there was a tug in this like dark blind thing because she was just like in another world. And so she followed it and it went back to Reese's. And so she was looking out of Reese's eyes, out of his eyes. The bone carver is asking, like, was there another portal? She's like, no. Was there like another world? Like, he's just asking all these questions. And Feyre says no. But I do think that is important now that we know, like, all the Mossverse is intertwined. I do think that is important maybe for later. Like, if someone else ever enters this world or something, that there could potentially be a portal or something to another world. Feyre asks, is there any way to resurrect a person if they have a bit of bone and the soul's preserved? The bone carver says, and I quote, long ago there was a cauldron. They say the magic was contained inside of it and the world was born in it, but it fell into the wrong hands. Great and horrible things were done with it. Things were forged in it, such wicked things that the cauldron was eventually stolen back at great cost. It could not be destroyed, for it made all things. So if it was broken, life would cease to exist. So it was hidden and forgotten. Only the cauldron only with that of the cauldron could something that is dead be forged. So millennia ago, the feet of which it stands were successfully like cut off its base and attempted to fracture some of its powers, but it barely worked. Removing the feet was like cutting off the first knuckle of a finger. And so it could still use its powers. It'd just be maybe a little bit difficult to use its powers, but it would still use its powers. And these feet were hidden amongst 3 different temples. 2 of the set temples have been sacked or raided, as we know. And if they've gone missing, it's most likely that the cauldron is active once more and that the wielder wanted at full power and not at like part of its power. Feyre and Rhys need more information, and so Feyre tells the kid, aka Bone Carver, that she had a choice before she was brought back and she could have picked death. And the Bone Carver tells Rhys that he's known who has the cauldron, it's Hybern, the whole time, so everything that he is speculating is true. Then Feyre says that once she stabbed the 2 Fae, if the last Fae had not been Tamlin, after she had stabbed like the last Fae, she would have turned the knife on herself and killed herself. And so Rhys is like, didn't know this and is like taking a bath, but like not like they can show much because they're with the Bone Carver. And the Bone Carver says, you can do more than bring back life with the cauldron. The cauldron can also bring down the wall. And he explains, and I quote, when the cauldron was made, its dark maker used the last of the molten ore to forge a book. The book of breathings. In it are the spells to negate the cauldron of the power or to control it. After the war, it was split into 2 pieces. One went to the Fae and one to the 6 human queens. No creature born of this earth may wield it, so the high lords and humans dismissed this as just like a historical heirloom. They were like, so much time has passed. They were just like, this could be fake. So now the high lord of the summer court possesses our half, or the Fae half of the book, and the reigning mortal queens have the other. Prythian's half is guarded with blood spells keyed into the summer lord himself. And the other one belonging to the mortal queens, they use their own kind of spell in the book to bind it so that if it was ever stolen and the bone carver is like, let's say a high lord were to whittle into their castle and steal it, the book would melt and be lost. It must be freely given by a mortal queen with no trickery involved. So, Rhys can't go whittling in. Asriel can get his shadows to take it. A queen must give it to them. When Feyre and Rhys leave, Feyre asks, who does she see? She says she saw like a little boy of 8, who we find out later is important. And Rhys says he saw Jurian, just like he was like before he died, like no time had passed. And so now they have to figure out how to get the book from the summer court. And since it's spelled for only the High Lord to get into it, Rhys believes that now that Feyre has the abilities of all the High Lords, that she'll be able to trick it and summon its powers. But they have to test this theory, and so they head to the Weaver, who is also an ancient creature. And guys, once we find out the real reason behind the Weaver, oh, so nice. But anyway, she has to go to the Weaver. So they realize that they also need an emissary for the human realm. And so they sent, Rhys is like, Feyre, you're perfect for this because you are an immortal fairy with a human heart. And then they try to figure out, because they're writing a letter to the summer court to be like, we need to come visit. They need permission to go to summer court. Feyre's like, my family estate is like a neutral place for all the queens to meet, for us to meet. So she needs to talk to her family to see if that's even possible. The next day, Rhys and Feyre head to the Weaver. Rhys explains that she cannot take any weapons except for knives because she will sense anything that doesn't belong to her. And knives are okay because she like eats with knives. But as he's strapping the knives onto Feyre, he's like kneeled in front of her and he's like touching her thigh so that he can strap his little knife on. And then Rhys says, wait, you're muting him. I can't hear anything. I'm not saying anything.
What? I was just saying, like, he's kneeling in front of her, like, doing her shit, and Genuine's pony is playing in the background, like, bounce, 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 bounce.
Oh man, that's the whitest video I've ever heard, but all right.
Well, I'm the whitest Genuine you ever seen.
Oh my gosh, that's why I love you guys. Okay. So as they head to the Weaver's cabin, Rhys tries to distract Feyre and tells him that like Cassian wouldn't mind if Feyre uses him to get over Tamlin. Sometimes they say the best way to get over someone is to get under someone. So Rhys is trying to put that into Feyre's head, but he's doing it to distract her and to like see like what her reaction would be, because she doesn't know yet that they're fated mates, right? Feyre realizes Feyre does realize at some point that Rhys is doing this to like distract her and is thankful. So Feyre sneaks into the cabin and she realizes that this cabin is like a hoarder's dream. It's just filled with all knickknacks and everything. And at a spinning wheel is the weaver. And the weaver is described, and I quote, her thick hair was the richest onyx, trembling down to her slender waist as she worked the wheel, snow white hands feeding and pulling the thread. So if we ever do get this show, the person at the weaver needs to look almost like Snow White, because I feel like she described Snow White to us essentially, because Snow White was supposed to have the blackest hair of black, the reddest lips of this, the skin as white as snow. So like the weaver should essentially look like Snow White.
But
And
she did say, they did say that her mouth and stuff was like old and nasty.
Yeah, it is nasty. We're gonna pretend it's red,
Cute.
lips red as Rose, because in my head she is, because we had a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So in my head now, she's an old ass looking Snow White.
Okay.
Yeah, can't make me unsee it.
I did not see that, but I like at all. But
Andrea, chime in, please.
I was thinking more of like Jesus. What's
Old
her
girl
name?
with the 7 dwarfs, right? That lady?
Yeah, like
The
an
old lady?
old. No, so that's the witch.
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
I'm thinking.
That's what I was thinking. But what's her
What are
name?
you thinking?
The evil
What's her
queen.
name from Into the Woods?
The evil queen.
Is that the evil queen?
Yeah. So I'm thinking, so yes, I think we're thinking of a combination. I'm thinking of the way that she was described, that Snow White is described as like having hair like as dark, lips as red as Rose.
Oh,
skin
they
as
do
white.
say that her hair is
Yeah. So
onyx.
I'm saying this witch is old as fuck, but like
We're
she's
wrong. We're
described
wrong.
essentially as Snow White outside of her lips. So in my head, I'm thinking of a very old Snow White. I do change who I think she looks like in 2 seconds.
Okay, tell
Okay.
me. Yeah. I'm
The
ready.
Weaver is just spinning and singing this super creepy song about sisters essentially killing each other. And Feyre is just looking around because she can't feel like what Rhys said he would feel, because Rhys is like, there's something of mine in this cabin, and if you use your power, you should be able to take it and just take only that and nothing else. And Feyre is trying to figure out, while this witch or weaver or ancient creature, whatever we want to call her, is spinning at her little wheel. She's trying to figure out what this object is. And then all of a sudden she feels this tug. And so she goes towards the tug and she finds a ring. And little does Phelan know what this ring is, but she sees it. And the ring has twisted strands of gold and silver. And it's like set with like the deepest stone of blue. It's more than a solitaire, but like a solitaire. Feyre grabs the ring. And as she grabs the ring, the weaver stops singing. And Feyre's like, oh shit, runs to the door, but the door slams shut. And she tries to run to a window, and the window has no handle, so she can't even get out. And the weaver's like, who the fuck is in my house? And Feyre realizes that now everything that she's been spinning is like human hair and like skin, and is disgusting. It's like hanging from the wall. So now the Snow White imagery has now turned into the witch from Hansel and Gretel. And she is like, and she's saying all types of stuff like, "Oh, you're something that's like, but is not like the rest of us." Like Weaver is just saying a whole bunch of stuff. Feyre is freaking the fuck out. She finds a candle, throws it at like where the spindle was, and like burns all that human flesh and hair. I can only imagine it reeks now, because that shit does not smell good when it's burned. And then she decides to try to climb the chimney from the weaver. Little does she know that when she's trying to climb this chimney, there's like oil, and it's like the oil and fat of like everything that it's like body fat of all the things she's ever killed. And Feyre's trying to climb this fucking chimney, and I'm like, girl, use your powers. And Feyre's like, I don't got any powers. And now the weaver is like coming into the chimney. Mind you, the weaver is blind, so I don't even know how the fuck the weaver is going to this. But she's climbing into the chimney, and then like, Feyre's freaking the fuck out. And then she finally tells herself, like, listen, breathe, you're strong. And then so she decides, I'm gonna like try to break this chimney. So she gets one brick. I don't know why the whole chimney didn't come before the plot. She gets one brick, and then she magically has enough. It says that she's so stuck she can't climb up,
but she has enough strength to catch the brick and throw it. So I don't really know what space there was to throw this brick at this weaver, but that's what she did.
It was literally in a split, holding herself up and then threw that shit.
So she's like climbing out of this fucking chimney. So she finally gets out and she realizes the only way she can go because she's in the chimney is to go through the trees. So she starts swinging through the trees like Tarzan. Actually, not like Tarzan because she only gets to like one tree. And then Reese Whittles looks at her and is like, "You're disgusting," but whittles her back to Valaris.
The audacity of that man.
He's just kicking his feet like, "Oh, here you are.
Hey, I've been looking for you.
What took you so long, girl?"
So
You done?
back at Valaris, Feyre explains that she was fine at first and like the Weaver did not detect her, but at some point she was detected. Spoiler, huge foreshadowing because this does happen in the Summer Court. I did not pick up on that first time around. Feyre realizes that like Reese didn't help her right away, and he was like, "Why?" And then she's like, "He was trying to test her to see if she could fend for herself." And Feyre says, and I quote, "That's what this was about to you." She spat as she threw the ring down. "Not this your stupid ring, but to see about my abilities if I could master my panic." And I'm personally on Reese's side on this because I'm on Reese's side because I don't remember exactly, but I think he needed to keep the fact that that's the engagement ring he needs to give her a secret. We'll figure that out in the next few chapters because I'll get reminded in the next few chapters. But also, their time is limited. Like Reese had asked you 2 months ago to help, and you said no. Like you went back to the Spring Court twice, and you're like, "I can't help you." You also do not know how to use your magic because Tamlin made sure you didn't know how to use it. Like, and now you're about to go to war, and you have terrible PTSD. Like in war, people die, and like it is very
Well, you
likely you're going to get separated.
This is what you asked for. You
Yeah.
asked to be useful. You asked to be put in dangerous spots so that you can prove your worth. Then you're put in that spot, and then you're like, "How dare you?"
Yeah,
Bitch, like you want to help or not?
exactly. It's not like you're in war and you can be like, "Pause, can we redo that?" Like, so I'm with Reese in this.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
you need to figure out your shit. But once they're back, Feyre tells Cassian she wants him to teach her how to fight. Feyre explains to Reese that she did this to prove herself today, and then she was pretty much like, "What is this ring, anyways?" And Reese explained that it was his mother, and Feyre is like, "How the fuck would you lose it?" And Reese says, and I quote, "My mother gave it to me as a keepsake, then took it back when I reached maturity and gave it to the Weaver for safekeeping. Why?" And he says, "So I wouldn't waste it." Dun, 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 dun. Ah, so many clues that I missed the first time around. So many clues I did not pick up on.
I thought he just meant like he was gonna pawn it and then like buy some weed or something. I swear to God, I thought that's what it meant. Like he
To
was
be
gonna
fair,
pawn that.
though, he grew
Nice
up
and
with
good.
Which
Cassian and Azriel.
translates to barter it for something else. But in Fae, like
Yeah,
the
that too.
equivalent is what you just said would have been. But now we know.
Yeah. This
Yeah,
ring
or
is so much
maybe
more important.
he could have just, found a hot piece of ass and gave it to her, and then it didn't work out, and then the ring was lost.
That is true. That is true. Mama was smart. Mama Reese. What is Reese's last name?
Mama Reese.
Exactly.
It's Anne.
Exactly. What is Rhysand's whole name? Is it like Cher? It's just Cher? Is it just
Yeah.
Rhysand? We
Yeah.
need
What
to
is
know.
Reese's last name? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
Mama
no.
Reese, because I don't have
And
a last name.
it drives me nuts because it matters and we still don't know.
Yet.
Yeah,
If you guys could see my inner brain right now, there's red string and highlighters, and I'm
You're
having a
that
field
scene
day.
from Sunny in Philadelphia with Charlie. I mean, if this is the author that comes up with motherfucking Aelin, Ash River, Galathinius, Hornus, Otterland's greatest assassin, yes, there's a fucking name.
Yeah.
How many?
If she has 17 last names, he can have one.
Yeah, no, literally.
Selena Sardovian.
Oh, Jesus.
It's 75 names. 100.
Yes. Okay. So, anyways, Reese asks her more about like the rest of her powers, and then challenges her to like go into his mind to see a memory. She tries but can't, and Reese is like, good enough attempt. I will go ahead and just show you this memory. So he shows her this memory of a naked Ianthe in his bed, and she's just like rubbing all up on herself and is like,
He's a
look at
better man than
me.
me. He's a better man than I. That's all I'm saying.
He's a better man than I.
When
When
she
Ianthe was walking towards him with her heavy breasts, I was like,
Her
yeah.
peaked breast.
I was like,
Okay.
little nipples doing this.
was
Yep.
like,
Yeah, they were.
What? Wait a
I-
minute.
I see you, Ianthe.
The independent movement is wild, by the way.
She's
Yeah.
a priestess.
The high priestess.
Cool thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Derek. She can do all types of shit with her titties.
Apparently, that's like the top of the list of things they teach you as a high priestess. I just,
How to wait with
I
one.
think that's the only thing she learned because she doesn't have friends. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only thing she learned. So in this memory, Ianthe is like rubbing all up on herself, and Reese is like, get the fuck out of my room. And Ianthe is like about to finger herself at this point and is like, do you know how much power our offspring would have? And like now Reese is like using his magic so she can't be touching herself anymore and is like, get the fuck out of my room. But now he's thinking about Azriel and how she like has forced herself or tried to on other people in his court. And so again, Reese is like, get the fuck out of my room. And then like Ianthe is like coming to him and grabs her hand and almost touches his magic glory. And Reese uses his power to essentially break her arm and is like, never touch me or anyone in my night court again. And Ianthe learned a very powerful lesson, and she learned no means no.
I'm just,
Go ahead, Andrea.
what's his magical glory?
It's his penis. His magical
Okay.
glory. In case anyone was wondering, I didn't want to say penis, but now that I'm
You've been saying everything else, so why'd you
His
censor
magical
that?
Magical stick, his disco stick.
You said everything else, but we're censoring penis. Got
Right.
it.
How dare you?
It's
She
too
was-
official.
The depravity. There's children here.
guys, she was trying to touch him in a very sensitive spot and
In his no spot.
in his no spot, and Risa said no like 3 times, and so he broke her hand, and she
You
learned a
only
very
use
powerful
no.
lesson. She learned no is no, and that's why when he showed up at the spring court and the wedding, she was like, "Fuck, I gotta hide."
Bye.
Which
Because-
it's kind of wild, like on a for real note, that he broke her hand, the high priestess, and then in Silver Flames, the priestess that works in the library, she has those gnarled hands, Clithia, whatever the hell isn't that sad?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, totally.
Clotho, that's her name.
cool. When we get to Silver Flame, because I would have called her something else. Because as everyone knows, if you haven't figured out at this point in this episode, terrible with the names. Terrible.
No, you're doing a good job. You're doing
No,
great.
wait till we do.
B
Wait
minus.
till we do Fourth Wing, and I have to name the dragons names because they're
Oh.
all fucking different names in my head.
There's nothing but consonants in any of the goddamn
Every one
dragons'
of them.
names.
You will be lucky that I can say Sigale.
Oh, if you got Sigale, you're fine.
That's it. Everyone else, their
Yeah,
names
you're
are
fine,
all
you're fine,
made
you're
up.
fine.
Okay,
You're fine.
everyone else is made up. Okay, back to this. So then Feyre starts to be like, because she's seeing this memory. She's like, wait, when the fuck was this? And he's like, oh, a few hundred years ago. And now Feyre remembers that like Lucian was not Ianthe's biggest fan, and she's wondering, did Lucian not have the ability to say no because of his position and her position? And then I'm like, Feyre, you're asking all the wrong questions. You should be asking, did Tamlin fuck her? But she not once thinks that in her head. And so I think
She
that means
assumed
yes.
that he would never. She assumed.
She's
My
stupid.
Tamlin would
My
never.
Tamlin would never.
She don't know
Not my
nothing.
Tamlin.
And you know what? She's right, because Tamlin don't do nothing.
He would fuck Ianthe though. He would. I feel like he would. So Feyre decides to take a bath because she still has this disgusting like even though she was like cleaned off with magic, she just feels like the phantom, like grease and oil of this. And so she's like in the bath and it's nice and warm. And she's starting to think of Ianthe. And she's just thinking of when Ianthe was trying to touch Reese's magic stick, but we could say penis if that makes everyone feel better.
His
And
magic
then she just
glory.
his magic glory. Ah, wait till we get to chapter 55. And so then she decides to shut out that memory and the bath goes cold. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the first sign that Feyre is getting jealous, but she doesn't know she's getting jealous. This is the first sign that she is getting jealous. And so now they're all, so this is the first time that she's jealous.
She
doesn't
was
know that she's
jealous of all kinds of stuff back in the first book at the end.
Maybe, but she didn't know that. Maybe, but she just had eyes for Tamlin.
She was stupid. You right. She was stupid.
Her
She
Tamlin.
was stupid.
She was. So it's like the next day they're waiting to hear back from the summer court because they haven't heard back yet, so they don't know if they can visit. So Feyre is getting ready to go to the human lands and she's talking with Moore and we get some information on Moore's past. And so, and I quote, in the court of nightmares, females are prizes, our virginity is guarded, then sold off to the highest bidder. I was born stronger than anyone in my family, even the males. And I couldn't hide it because they could smell it, like they could smell a high lord's air before he comes into power. And I just want to know what that smells like because I'm very intrigued now. But the power leaves a mark. When I was 12, before I bled, I prayed. It meant that like no male would ever take me as a wife and that I could escape my older cousins, what my older cousins had endured, their loveless, sometimes brutal marriages. But then I began bleeding a few days afterwards when I turned 17. And the moment my first blood came and my power came into full force, she was instantly horrified because every single ruling family of power saw her as a prized mare. And so we will get more, a little bit more on Moore's background, but she did not have a good experience. She explains that Cassian and Reese were the ones to get her out because she explains that's how she connects with Feyre, is that like she was also trapped and she got out. And they did this before they got any real titles or powers. So like them getting her out meant huge consequences for them. And she's just like, Cassian, Reese, and Azriel mean the world to her. And then she says, that's enough for memory down memory lane today. We'll talk about the rest later. She's not going to go to the human land, but she will come whenever the queens decide to come. And so Reese, Cassian, Azriel, and Feyre go to the human lands, and Feyre decides she's gonna fly with Azriel because she's just thinking of Reese's hands on her thighs, and she might need a cold shower after this because she cannot stop thinking about it. So guys, she's slowly starting to develop feelings for our good man Reese here. But anyway, she gets to her family's like estate. She knocks, but she has like a cape or the hood on her head to hide her ears and everything that she is. And we had the housekeeper, Miss Laurent, like opens the door and immediately does not let Feyre come in because she knows something's different about her. She says her father's away on business. It's so funny because the housemaid is like, "Oh, your father's away on business," and Feyre's like, "My sisters," and it's like, "Bitch, she got sisters." Like, you're gonna need more of an excuse than the father's away on business. And
Right.
so that's when Elaine comes and she notices something different about Feyre, but then Nessa sees it too. But then Elaine is like, "No, Feyre, come in." Meanwhile, the boys are hidden so that Feyre could talk to her family on her own. And Papa Archer really is trading. He's like off trading, but he is also working on like the threat that's from over the wall. So he is like trying to make sure that his family stays safe. So Feyre finally shows her sisters that she is now Fae and explains that she was dead and was reborn or remade. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Hopefully I have an answer.
Who's Lucian's dad?
Which true dad? Summer?
Yeah. His
Summer,
real is it's
Why can I remember his name? Starts with an H.
it's not Helion. Is it
No,
Helion?
I think it is
No, I
Helion.
think
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
Helion, and I say this is because at this part that we're at right now, she describes Elaine as soft and lovely like a summer
like
dawn.
the summer dawn.
Oh, hold on.
You picked up on that too? I thought it was just me.
Oh,
So
Derek, I love
that's why I'm
you.
like, well, hang on. How much foreshadowing do we have here? Because this is
No,
a
it says
crazy connection.
Google says his father is healing in the High Lord of the Day Court. But
We thought
maybe that's where we were going with. Maybe that's what Sarah J. Maas trying to go with.
Maybe it's just a wink. I think it's a little.
Maybe we're doing too much.
No, I don't think we're doing too much at all.
No, I don't think so either. First of all,
Okay.
hold on. This is coming from the queen of. Do you know how many Easter eggs are in the Maas universe?
Yeah, but sometimes I feel like it might be a stretch.
Well, remember, we don't know. What we think is that Elaine is rejecting the mating bond with Lucian, and we're all trying to ship Azriel, right? With
No, I'm not trying to ship Azriel at all with her. I love Azriel for Gwen. I am not on the Elaine and Azriel boat at all.
I'm not
That
on
can
that train
sail,
either.
and I will be on the land, and it can sail very far
She
away.
said,
Like,
what you not gonna do is tell me.
She said,
I
"This
am
theory
not on that
going
boat.
Archeron.
That boat is. I am not on that boat.
That theory is on Papa Archeron's boat." Okay.
So far away. No, I think she's rejecting Lucian for a little bit, and then she'll get with him because I hope because Lucian needs a W. But now I'm scared he's gonna die.
Look what you did,
That was
Andrew.
never a possibility in my head, and now I'm like, fuck, Andrew's probably right. He's gonna die.
But it's okay because they can keep him alive in a ring like they did Jurian.
Oh,
In
Isn't
a
that wild?
ring for Lucian.
In an eyeball. They'll keep him alive
In his eyeball, yeah.
They're gonna put him on in an iPhone.
Bruh. iPhone.
I love it. Oh my god. Okay. So, and then Feyre explains to her that she's not fake and she was remade, reborn. Feyre tells them about her time under the mountain and like what she needs for them, / what the human realm needs from them. Nessa is like, fuck that shit. Nope. You can have your meeting somewhere else with these queens, but not here. She was like, we cannot associate with Faye, especially with Elaine's wedding coming up. And Elaine is supposed to marry in 5 months to a lord whose father hunts the Fae. Elaine says, and I quote, if we do not help Feyre, there won't be a wedding. Even the High Lord, even Lord Nolan's battlements and all his men couldn't save me from them. We keep it secret. We send the servants away. With the spring approaching, they'll be glad to go home. And Feyre needs to be in and out of the meetings. We'll send word ahead of time. We'll clear everybody out. We'll make up excuses. We'll send them on holiday. Father won't be back until the summer. No one will know. Feyre gave and gave for years, and now it's our turn to help. Does that sound like someone who can't grasp anything?
Exactly.
It
Wait,
sounds
wait,
like
so
someone. It
Elaine
sounds like
said
someone in
that?
a situation.
Elaine said that, and I took that from the book in quotes. So Elaine, that shit came out of Elaine's mouth. So does that sound like someone who doesn't grasp things? Don't worry, I got more.
Well, wait a second, because I want to hear what the hell is going on in Andrea's head.
We don't have enough time.
Damn.
Where's the lie? Where's the lie? You know what? Keep going. We got a couple more chapters, and then we'll do theories, and we'll come back to it. It's fine. I'll make a note.
Okay, no, go ahead. Do that because I'm about to pull. So now I want to reread what it said about Elaine in Agatar, and I'm pulling this directly out of the book, and I'm quoting, and it says, Elaine sometimes just didn't grasp things. It wasn't meanness that kept her from offering help. It simply never occurred to her that she might be capable of getting her hands dirty. I never been able to decide whether she actually didn't understand that we were truly poor or she refused to accept it. So I would like for someone to tell me that the person who just said came up with this glorious plan that she doesn't grasp things.
I have a theory for you.
Okay.
What's the theory?
In this conversation, there's 3 people, right? Of those 3 people, 2 of them have very fleshed out characteristics and personalities, which means only one left to further the plot point. Literally, Elaine is used as the only other option to further the plot. But
I'm not
continue.
disagreeing with you. I'm just
Can you
saying.
tell me how wonderful Elaine is?
No, I don't think she's wonderful. I
No,
think
but
that now that her family got money, all of a sudden she's grasping things
yeah,
that
she
she
was
could help. What?
I was like, how the fuck did an airhead, right, come up with such a flawless plan to why don't we tell everyone to leave so that you can bring your Illyrian friends? How does she come up with that on the fly if you don't have many brain cells, you know?
I'm just saying. I think Elaine always was smarter than what we thought. I think she
Yeah.
played
The
her
game.
sister. I do think she loved her sisters, but I think from the get-go she was playing because she knew that not only would Nesta make sure that she was good, Feyre would too. Like
Yeah.
everyone was gonna make sure she was good before themselves. So I think she was just playing. Like I think she does love her family, but like she was playing them.
Yeah,
But anyway,
I'm on your bandwagon, dude. I'm strapped in.
She was playing them. I can get
yes.
behind that.
Okay. Then Elaine is like, we'll get the servants out today. And so she like go run to like get the servants out. And Feyre is like, she's getting married? Is the man good? And Nessa says, Elaine believes he's good. And I quote, his father built a wall of stone around their estate so high, even the trees cannot reach over it. I think it looks like a prison. His son Grayson is kind enough and is as smitten with Elaine as she is with him. It is his father I don't like. He sees the money that she has to offer, but he is an old man and will die soon enough. So we don't like Daddy. We only like Grayson, but Grayson sounds like he can't do anything without Daddy at this point. He also gave Elaine this beautiful iron ring that does jack shit to Faye. But this is the man we want in our lives, just so you know.
So do we think that Elaine, if she's a villain, picked someone that she could inherit power from and manipulate?
So I don't know if Elaine is a full-on villain. Like I said, I do think she loves her family.
No,
But
I think she is.
Oh, I mean, I love this theory. Go.
Tell me about see, I'm getting way too far ahead of myself.
Like,
So
I
you
think she
planted
knows.
the seed of Elaine being a little player, and now I'm like dissecting everything because, like, what if her reaction to seeing Feyre? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I need Elaine's book to come out, but I will die on this hill in the next book when Elaine gets kidnapped into like Hybern's
All right,
camp.
if she
I
get
think she
kidnapped
walked.
again, she's just doing it on
I
purpose.
think she
Yeah.
walked her ass.
Oh, you mean my bad. Sorry.
Yeah, I think she walked her ass into that camp. Like not
Yeah,
this
yeah.
book, the next book.
I agree because you know what? Yeah, she picked up on her sister being Faye, and then she was like, you know what? Hell yeah. Let me get all the regular ass people out of here so I can see what you have to say and pick up
Yeah.
on your crew
Yeah.
and all this stuff. Are you
Yo.
supposed to be terrified of them?
She
Are you
is.
supposed to be?
So she's a little scared, but I don't think she's that scared as she could be, to your point.
Yeah, but it's like you're wearing this iron ring, this iron bracelet. You're supposed to be terrified of them, and you're like, let's break bread.
That's true.
What the fuck?
That's
How?
true. Again, I will continue as we get some of our Elaine, as we talk more about Elaine. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. As I
I don't
said,
think you're wrong.
Sarah J.
you're right.
Maas is the only one who's going to tell me I'm wrong. Like no one else is going to tell me I'm wrong. Only Sarah J. Maas is going to tell me I'm wrong. But I think, like I said, I think Elaine knows more than what she's bringing on. I think she,
or maybe as Feyre is the unreliable narrator and her prejudice just got the best of her because she was salty that she had to hunt all those years and Elaine was really just letting her.
So I would say yes, except we also get Elaine and Nessa's point of view. Or are we also saying Nessa's an unreliable character?
Yeah, because she was self-serving.
She did a lot of reflecting in her books. I don't know, but we'll see. Maybe you're right. Maybe they're all.
Because whatchamacallit just said, my sister Elaine can convince anyone to do anything with a few smiles.
Yes, I love that line because I was like, oh, so she's a master manipulator.
Yeah, she'd been playing everybody because she'd been smiling. She was smiling. No one can tell me Elaine. Yeah. So, anyways, back to where we are. So then Nesta asked, like, well, what about your High Lord? Because the last time you came, you were so adamant about, like, Tamlin, the High Lord of the Spring Court. So then Feyre says, and I quote, that Lord, meaning Elaine's Lord, built a wall to keep the Fae out. My High Lord wanted to keep me caged in. And then Nesta's like, well, didn't he, like, send you back home? And, like, so for you to be safe, like, what about all that? And Feyre says he did that to protect me, and I think what happened to him to us under the mountain broke him, perhaps more than it broke me. To drive to protect at all costs, even at my own well-being, I think he wanted to stifle it, but he couldn't let it go. And again, I know you guys all think that, like, I love Tamlin. I don't, but I think Feyre is saying in this paragraph that, like, he has a lot of shit he needs to get through. Again, he was an asshole. He was abusive. He crossed the line on many of occasions. But he needs to go sit. He is.
Is currently.
Oh, great.
And
Okay, you're right. Currently, I want him to go sit in a field somewhere and play his fucking fiddle for like 500 years and, like, really think about himself, like, and
Like,
what he
play
can
with it.
contribute to society. Like, that's what he needs to do.
Is he any good at the fiddle?
He said yes, so that's when, like, Feyre was like the summer solstice or whatever.
Oh,
She was
Yeah,
throwing
yeah,
you
yeah.
back.
And that's when
I
they
think
put
it was a glamour. I don't think he's good at it.
She was throwing ass to fiddle.
Yeah. She said fiddle while you twerk.
Fiddle while you twerk is wild, but I need it on a shirt. I need it on a shirt, just like real
make that
small
happen.
right here. Fiddle
Oh.
while
Oh
you
my
twerk.
god.
Oh, we're trademarking that right now. Let's go. Okay. So Feyre asked Nessa does she want to meet the people at the new court that she's at. And so Feyre introduces Cassian, Azriel, and Reese. And she says, and I quote, my sisters, Nessa, Elaine, Artron. I had not thought of my family name, had not used it for years. Because even when I had sacrificed and hunted for them, I had not wanted my father's name. Now when he sat before the little fire and let us starve, let me walk into the woods alone. I stopped using it the name I killed that rabbit. And it felt like its blood stains on my hand. The same way the blood of those fairies had marred it over the years, like an invisible tattoo. So I think last episode or 2 episodes ago, we were talking about, like, last names and, like, how, like, Feyre's not even claiming her last name. So this is here her acknowledging it, but also acknowledging that her family was scum. Her sisters were scum and her dad was scum because they let their youngest daughter slash sibling go out there. So everyone sits down for the most awkward family dinner that they're gonna have. And now that Feyre is Faye, she needs more than salt and pepper to make her food taste good. And Nessa's like, is this food too good for you? And, like, I can eat, drink, and fuck just like any human, even better. She's just coming at Nesta. She needs a little season for her food, but, you know, whatever. A little sazon. Reese is trying to keep things cool and gently, like, pulls on the bond and is like, you know, be nice to Nesta and everything. And because for Reese, this isn't just a meeting on, like, the queen's coming. Like, he knows Feyre is his mate, and so he's trying to make a good impression on her family. So Nessa starts being Nessa, and Cassian puts her in her place real fast. And Cassian says, and I quote, someone let their youngest sister risk her life every day in the woods while she did nothing. Someone who let a 14-year-old child go out into the forest so close to the wall. Your sister died to save my people. She is willing to do so again to protect them from more. So don't expect me to sit here with my mouth shut while you sneer at her for the choices she did not get a chance to choose to make while you insult my people. And then Elaine, who doesn't grasp anything, tries to smooth things over and is like, we grew up believing you guys were all bad. And she says, and I quote, and Feyre's hunting all those years, it was not just Nesta's neglect to blame. We were scared. We had received no training, and everything we did had been taken and we failed her, both of us. Oh my God. Elaine grasped perfectly fine. She could have fucking planted a vegetable garden. She didn't. And so I would love for someone to tell me Elaine does not know what she's doing. She knows exactly what she was doing. And she had her sisters the whole time to back her up. Unintentionally. I can't hear you though, because all y'all are quiet now.
I said 100%.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. She could have, point is, like Jody said, she could have done a zucchini. She could have planted a fucking zucchini. Okay. So Nessa is pretty much like, write your letter and get out of my house. And so since it's nighttime, Feyre and the Bat Boys are going to stay the night. There are only 2 bedrooms that are made up. What a coincidence that Feyre and Reese need to share a room. Not a bed, just a room. So Reese explains that Elaine should not marry this guy for many reasons, but the main reason being that Feyre would not be invited to their wedding. Cassian has not let anyone get under his skin in years. Little does he know. Wait till we get to Silver Flame. Reese snaps his fingers and gives Feyre some night clothes and says, I couldn't decide which scrap of lace I wanted you to wear, so I brought you a few to choose from. So the flirting has now begun. So now we're flirting back, everybody. Reese then asks, like, when is her birthday? And Feyre's like, oh, the winter solstice. And Reese is like, wait, the winter solstice passed and we didn't celebrate it. And yeah, Reese, because she didn't tell anyone about it, so you're correct. The next day, Feyre decides to go practice using her powers, like in the forest, away from like her family's house. And Feyre tells Reese that she can't practice because he's like distracting her and she can't concentrate. So Reese says, give a shout down the bond. And she's like, what do I do? Like, yell at the tattoo. And Reese says, and I quote, you could try rubbing it on certain body parts and it might come faster. Dun, dun, dun. So her bad boy is laying it on thick. He's laying it on.
I fear that would have worked on me.
And me.
An hour later, Feyre has nothing to show for her hard work. And so Reese starts sending her like little letters and like magical letters. And he's like, any sparks yet left? And Feyre's like, no. And Reese and Feyre have like a nice little convo through this like magical piece of paper. And they're like bonding but flirting. Reese tells Feyre Nessa and Cassian cannot stop their bickering. And then he says, life is better with you when you're around.
Whoa.
And Feyre's like, you shameless flirt. But also, Feyre needed to hear this because remember, like 3 days ago, she admitted to the bone carver that like she almost took her own life. Like she needs to hear that like she's wanted and she's loved.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're sending these little messages back and forth, and then out of nowhere, Feyre hears the adder, and he's like, stop, or I'm gonna snap your neck. Dun, dun, dun. Feyre freaks the fuck out, but before she can do anything, Reese shows up, pins him down with his magic, and then starts asking the fucking question, is like, where the fuck are you? Why are you here? Why are you following her? And the adder's just like, I was sent here, and that's not good enough. Reese like, give me more information. The adder is now screaming in pain because Reese is using his magic and is making him in pain. And he's just like, I'm following orders. The Kingdom of Hybern sent me here. He has so many allies. I'm having a great time. I don't know if you guys are having a great time.
Oh, we're having a great time.
Yeah, 100%.
Between your narrations and Andrea's reactions, we're having a great time.
Yeah, you know what? If I knew that ASL didn't look like what Andrea's doing, I would assume she was doing ASL for you.
Exactly. She's signing what you say.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, God. My stomach hurts because I laughed so much right there. Okay, cool. Okay. Adder screaming in pain. He's just like, I'm here. Also, this is a huge clue that like I missed the first time because the adder is saying that he has allies in all territories, aka Spring Court, and we don't even know this. So like, missed that the first time I read it. Then Azriel shows up, takes the adder away from our questioning, and Feyre's like, is the adder gonna kill him, Reese? And Reese says no, but they're gonna use the adder to send a message to Hybern so that he remembers not to touch anyone in his night court, or he better do better. And then Feyre's like, well, hold up, wait a minute, what the fuck? You knew I was being hunted and you used me as bait? And Reese is like, oops, yes, and I will do it again.
It's part of the homegirl. I'm paying you for this shit, as a matter of fact.
paying you well.
Okay? Very well. I'm paying you very well. Yeah. Anyways, he's like, yeah, and I would do it again. The whole time you were safe. And
And they
Feyre's
wouldn't
like, they won't be a next time. And I'm like, girl, preach. Except you didn't know how to use your powers. You helpless. Like, this is the second time in less than a week that you've been in a situation you can't even protect yourself. Like, at some point, we gotta face the music, you know?
Right,
Like,
you're on the job.
yeah, you're not doing great here, right? And then Feyre just thinks in her head she forgot how strong she was. And then Reese says out loud, because she says it like through the bond. And Reese is like, yeah, and you forgot and you stopped fighting. And Feyre is like, what if I did stop fighting? She's just admitting that she doesn't know if she's trying to live yet. And then, ladies and gentlemen, this is why Reese needed to say 3 pages ago, life is better with you in it, because she needs to know that she's loved. But anyways, she gets so mad and she goes to like try to hit Reese, and Reese whittles away, and they're going back and forth. And Feyre's like, fuck, the only way I can get him if I whittle. So she's trying to get him, and then she gets pissed because she only knows how to use her magic when she's pissed. And then she whittles to Reese and she tackles him. And then Feyre's like, never, ever again use me as bait.
Now
And then
kiss.
she's done. Reese apologizes and then says, okay, but Feyre continues to think to herself, she did forget she was strong and she did stop fighting. So Reese apologizes like 3 times and he says, I'm sorry again. And then he's like, you know what? Why don't we go home, eat some breakfast and go home? And Feyre's like, Valaris is in my home. And Reese is like, oh, he gets sad because he wants it to be her home. But anyways, they go back home to Valaris. Oh, I'm sorry, scratch that. They go back to the Archeron residence, and Cassian and Nessa are fighting. They don't know that they're doing it, but they're like just fighting and flirting at the same time. They just want to fuck each other. We'll get so much of that in Silver Flame, but not today. Later, back in Valaris, Reese finds Feyre and she's like reading a book, and he approaches her, and Feyre's like, she scans him because she knows he was with the Adder, like torturing him to get information. And she's so happy that he has no injuries. And so that's another sign that Feyre is starting to feel something for Reese. And then Reese tells her that it's up to her to decide how much she wants to know about their methods of trying to get information. And Feyre's like, tell me all of it. So Reese allows her to see the memory that he had right now with them torturing the Adder. And so now she's seeing this through like Reese's thoughts, and Reese is like thinking about how he would have to pay the Night Court a visit, or I'm sorry, not the Night Court, but he has to visit the Court of Nightmares. He needs to give him a visit soon because Feyre whittled today, so he can't do that yet because she whittled, but he does need to visit the Court of Nightmares. And then about 2 days ago, an army did infiltrate the north, and the king does know that Feyre was taken into like the human lands, and Azriel has his little knife. He has Truth Teller out, and he's like, I'm going to use this on you, so you better answer my questions correctly. And the book says that the Adder cracked in less than an hour. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the Adder is not someone you want in your court if you're trying to fight a war, because he will snitch on you in 2 seconds. And snitches get stitches, and that's exactly what he got. So, and for everyone not listening, or for listening, Andrea's done with season and her.
You're fine. No. All I was going to say is like truth teller's very important.
Yes, he has Truth Teller, his knife. Reese is like now going through the Adder's like memories to see like what he can see. So like Feyre is just seeing all of this, and I don't know why Reese was thinking about Azriel, but he sees that like Azriel's brothers like made fun of him, and Reese shattered his brother's legs to the point that they eventually started walking again. Reese knew that people knew about Feyre being missing because Azriel had already been tracking that whole situation. Tamlin has shut down the border, so they can't even fly over it. And then he hears some and like not even the ears and eyes that Azriel had inside the Supreme Court can even give any more information, because Tamlin has locked that shit down, so they can't even communicate anymore. And while the Adder is talking, Reese is just going through his head, so he does see the army that Hybern has, and it is huge. It is very similar to what the war was many years ago, but he doesn't see any Jurian, the Cauldron, or the book. So Rhys tells Azriel break his leg, shred his wings, and dump him on the coast of Hybern so that they can find him. And as much as Rhys wants to kill the Adder, he needs, especially for everything they did to Feyre, because he refuses to remember how they tortured her or beat her or anything. He needs to send the message more than he needs vengeance. But the most important thing is that Feyre is seeing this through his eyes. So she is seeing that that is what he wanted to do and he didn't do. So then Rhys tells Feyre he is sorry for deceiving her once again. And Feyre says, I need to write a letter. And it's also noted that Feyre has learned all of her ABCs and she can read and she can write and she's amazing at it. She is reading and writing at the rate as a 20-year-old should be reading and writing. So she writes a letter.
Yep.
She writes a letter to Tamlin and it says, I left on my own free will. I am cared for and safe. I am grateful for all you did for me and all that you gave. Please do not come looking for me. I am not coming back. Feyre hopes, she said, I'm gone. Peace, bitches. Feyre hopes that this will help the situation in the Spring Court and maybe Tamlin will like loosen up some of the borders. She doesn't know. Feyre also realizes now that she wants to live with like no borders, no limits, no everything. And now, ladies and gentlemen, she's going to fight back if she needs to. So she tells Rhys she is sure about the letter because she is no one's pet. And Feyre is like, what's next, Rhys? And Rhys responds, dinner, Feyre, darling. And I'm like, oh, they're going on a date. Only to find out a paragraph later that the whole inner circle is also going on this date. So it's not actually a date, but they're just all going out into the town.
I think he did that on purpose because he knew she wasn't ready to go on a date.
Maybe. And then Amren, did I say it correctly?
You did. No drink.
Yes. And so then Amren visits Feyre while everyone is like getting ready downstairs. And Feyre's like, oh, here's your letter or here's your necklace. And Amren is like, oh, it's useless. It's just jewelry. And Feyre's like, what? And she's like, I gave you what you needed to hear to get the task done. And you did. End of all the chapters. What are your thoughts?
Oh, we shared a lot of them.
Yeah.
We did. And for the sake of time, any theories before we go into our sassy topic? I gave you guys my theory on Elaine. No one but Sarah J. Maas is going to tell me she's not playing her sisters. Just wait till we get to Nessa's book because I have so much more evidence then.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sassy topic. Why is Feyre afraid of her own abilities and how...
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Okay.
Why is she afraid of her own abilities?
Yes. And how do these chapters show her wrestling with that fear? I think it shows a lot, guys. Like, she, like, literally just said she stopped fighting and stopped, like...
Okay. Can I start? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I think two things. She's afraid of her own abilities because she was raised to be afraid of these things. Number one. Number two, I think we're using the word afraid when we really need to be using the word, I wouldn't even say cautious. I want to say,
she's like vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, Tamlin is straight up telling her she is not allowed to use these abilities. She's not even allowed to know that she has these abilities, So it's like, she has so many daddy issues, Her literal father and her world is telling her that she should be afraid of these fae and their abilities, etc. And then she turns fae and lives with a fae, is engaged to a fae, and this fae is telling her, you're not allowed to use our abilities. So it's like, what does he call it? Half a dozen eggs or whatever the fuck?
6 of one, half a baker's dozen of another.
Anyway, so it's like, I don't think, I just think that she's just not, she's been, what is that word I'm looking for? Yeah, like she's been told you're not allowed to. And so it doesn't come to her to actually willingly use these things and come into her power and stuff like that, which is why she needs Rhys and his band, because they're going to lift her up and they're going to teach her her
how to play the oboe,
her abilities, and
the bass clarinet, because Tamlin has the flute, so we got to give her the bass clarinet because Andrea has a bass clarinet. I love it. Okay, Andrea, you have anything? I agree with that. Like, she was taught her this whole time to like be scared of it. She was taught not to like fear these things, but on the other side, she's also the only one in her family who like was the strong one when it came to like feeding them or whatever. So she like really took a step back in all this. So yeah, anything, Andrea?
No, yeah, I'm really proud of her for learning her ABCs and utilizing them.
Yes. Okay. The second part of this question is, how can we relate this to the real world? Because as humans, I really do think as humans, we don't like new things or things that are different. And so this is kind of where Feyre is like, this is something new that's happening to her, something different, and she's just not accepting it as much as she should.
I would love to hear your perspective as women on suppressing your strength in society.
Look at Derek turning that question back on us. I think we're always going to have to fight for our place in society, at least for the next 500 years. Because I feel like, quite frankly, not to bring politics into this, but like we've gone back where we were and we need to come forward. So I just think that we're always going to have to fight. But I do think we are in a better place. Like, as a woman of color, I can vote, I can do this.
Sure.
I have choices, and I will love for someone to tell me I don't, because I will vote every single time. Now, is our voting system something that we can make better because it's not perfect? Absolutely. But like, a lot of people died to give me, especially as a woman and a woman of color, a lot of people died to give me the right for me to even be able to speak my mind, for me able to even be able to read, pick up a book, write, do anything. And so in my head, what I can do is not let their deaths go in like vain, and make sure that like I can be the best that I can possibly be. That's my 2 cents.
I think that there's a correlation between Feyre being afraid of her power and afraid of her strength to how we treat girls and women in society, to not embrace their strength, to be afraid of being strong and being muscular or bulky, or having that same, taking up that same space. We don't want to put them on the same level as someone who is like a high fae, high lord with all of this power, and so she's afraid to rise to that level.
Can I answer something?
I would love to.
So I don't even think that it's that she's afraid to. Again, it's this suppression, is that she's not allowed to. Tamlin said there is no high lady, and Reese is like, who the fuck said that?
Yeah.
Of course there can be.
Read my shirt. It says High Lady of the Night Court. Yeah.
So again, I don't
She's internalized a lot of that.
right.
Oppression.
This internalized misogyny, if you will.
Yeah.
Andrea, do you have anything you want to add before we go?
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, listen, I don't like her. And I know I'm supposed to say something nice.
No,
and like,
this podcast is for you to say whatever you want. Your dog said,
Your
fuck,
dog
I
don't
agree
like
with you.
Your
I
dog don't
agree
like
with you.
Sass either.
Your dog said, I agree with you, and fuck Feyre. That's literally what your dog just said right now.
he's on my side. No,
Yep.
I just, you know what? I think that so suppressing is like the perfect way to describe it, but she doesn't want to allow these things to be a part of her, because I don't think she's fully over like the prejudice of it. I think she just got thrown into this thing. She was fed one line of bullshit. She's got tons of trust issues. She's got daddy issues. She's barely knows how to count to 10. She doesn't know how to write things, and like, what power or what is she supposed to be taking control of? She doesn't know, let alone like controlling herself. And I think going back to her sisters didn't give her any confidence in her situation at all, because she changed, she came back, she was barely accepted. And the younger sister, I don't even like her, Elaine, was like, oh no, let's hear her out, let's like do what we can for her. They like belittled her by saying, all she's done for us, she kept us fed. It's like, no, out of the goodness of my heart, because you're my sister, these are the things I believe are true, and I believe in what you're saying, not because I owe you a favor from when we fucked up all those years ago. It's like
transactional.
I think that Feyre, He's still got a lot of self-discovery, and she didn't learn a whole lot.
Yeah. She's like a child that's being taught what's right and what's wrong.
Because she's reactive. After the situations that are happening, she's reactive. When we look at her going to the Weaver and getting the ring, she reacted to the fact that he made her do that, not understanding, like, just like us, we're like, oh, we missed that. He's like, I don't want to waste it. She didn't catch that. She doesn't understand what that means. She's like, cool, I'm gonna go take a bath because I feel nasty. She's self-serving in that moment. The same thing when they went to the bone carver. She was like, why did I see this little boy? It was about her again. She didn't think of anything else. She's reacting. The same thing when he used her for bait with the adder. She's reacting. She's not taking anything and absorbing it for what it is. And this is like the most severe version of unreliable narrator.
Other side of that
I'll give
same
that to you.
coin. Other side of that same coin. Going back to book 1, how often did we say she is an emotionally stunted child?
How much did you say that, or us? You said that a lot.
Yeah, because she is. Because she is. And she is still an emotionally stunted child. And again, we get into this mindset of like we treat these characters as if they are like full-grown adults with fully formed brains, and yet they're supposed to be 19. And at 19, she's been like she's had so much lack of self-development because of her situation. So, I mean, I think that lends to the character where she is. But also, I absolutely agree. It is so frustrating, right? It is so frustrating to see this character just behaving like a child. I would love to say that it's intentional. Maas did this on purpose.
Because she wants us, we're seeing her in these positions as like learning experiences.
Yeah.
Reese is doing this for your own good. He's throwing you into these things because you insisted on learning how to be a warrior and learning ABCD and whatever.
And
but
it's a device for world building.
It is.
Yes,
It is.
yes. But in her little mind, she's like, "You're picking on me. Why are you doing this to me? Why?"
She's
I feel so
internalizing it.
nasty now. Like, bitch, are you not? Is this not what you asked for?
Yeah.
You wanted an experience. You're getting it, and now you're like, "Oh, wow. Why are you throwing me?"
And maybe this goes back to your whole theory about Elaine. Maybe playing dumb. She probably isn't playing. Feyre is just self-centered and self-serving and assume that Elaine is who she is. And so now, through our eyes, we're led to believe that Elaine is full of shit when really Feyre was just not paying attention.
I would agree with that if Nessa's opinion was also not the same, and Nessa's opinion also.
I also disagree with it only because
that's two people. It's like if one person says it's wrong, then maybe, but two people is probably right.
Well, the fiddle that you and the bandwagon that you and I are on is that she didn't fucking plant a zucchini for the love of God.
She didn't. Yeah.
You know,
she knew she knew Feyre would bring her home. Again, I just want Elaine's book, so I could be proven right or wrong, but
I think she was low-key Faye the whole time. And her mom, was her mom dead before Elaine?
So Feyre, Elaine and Nessa grew up with her mom for a little bit. Feyre's the only one who didn't. So
I was literally about to say, was Elaine alive? Or was her mom alive when Elaine was born? But like, how was she born? So
you know what? We forget that Feyre was the youngest because Elaine acts like a fucking child, like a little baby.
And I can't wait until we get into where Nessa's like, I took something for the cauldron. Elaine also took something from the cauldron. She's just being very quiet about it and very sneaky.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she took nothing. I think it just happened to her. I think she just let stuff happen to her.
I think she grasped perfectly fine that she was in that fucking cauldron. She took.
Do you think maybe she's like Vasa? She's Vasa? No, we meet Vasa, don't we? Damn it!
I don't know. Who
I think there's the phoenix, the bird. She can't leave the island. It's like,
oh my god, the bird that fucking disappeared.
Oh,
and Bryaxis disappeared too. We got a lot of cliffhangers.
I'm terrible with names.
Disappearing here. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
something's off about Elaine, and I'm hoping that all of this stuff that we're piecing together, when we get Elaine's book, that it'll all get answered. I don't want her book, but it's like inevitable at this point. She's got too cool of a thing. Like scrying is a big deal in fantasy for it to just be like, I don't want her
and
to.
I think now that she can see the future, she has to be careful because she can't like interfere with the future per se. Like she has to just like do whatever. But I think she knew exactly what she was doing. I think she walked into that camp. I think she also took something from the cauldron. I think we want to just blame Nesta, and it was two of them. I think Nesta took something bigger. But yeah, I don't trust Elaine as far as I can throw her. And
You've changed my mind. So yeah, I'm with you.
Elaine is lucky I can even remember her name because I sure hell can't throw her far. So she's lucky I can remember her name. Okay. That's where I am on her, because that is how much I trust her.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you guys. For those of you who are listening, it's very late, and I appreciate my guests so much for staying with us, especially because I was having a lot of fucking technical difficulties with this.
Oh no, you were fine.
But here we are. But thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.